All right. Welcome, everyone. This is Harnessing Your Wealth with Billy Petersen. We're glad you joined us today. I think we have an exciting topic and a great show for you, especially for those of you who live here in Utah, grand old state of Utah. It's cold outside still. I mean, we finally got winter, but we needed a little bit of snow. And, of course, we have sidekick Sean. He's here once again. I let him in the room. Sometimes it's give and take, depending on what I think of him that day. But he is here.
That sounds about standard.
It's standard. And we also have special guest Ben Nadolski. Now, Ben is actually the mayor of Utah, and we're excited to have him. We're going to pick his brain and figure out
not quite Utah. Ogden, Utah.
I got promoted.
Ogden, sorry. Not the whole state of Utah, but Ogden, Utah. I was giving him a promotion.
Run with it.
I'm already moving you up. Yeah. See, you've made a big impact so far. We're glad he's here. We're going to share or ask him a lot of questions and share his story about how he got to the seat he's in today. Actually, a little bit of backstory. Ben and I served on what we call the Wildcat Club here in our small town of Ogden. Not so small anymore, but Wildcat Club is for Weber State, kind of help promote, like a marketing effort, help promote the athletic department up there at Weber State. So kind of got to know Ben a little bit there. We haven't seen each other for years, but now we're back, and he's a big superstar. He actually worked for Wildlife Resources for 27 years.
23 years.
23 years. So we have a lot in common there. We like animals. We like to hunt. We like all that. Small town guys.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's jump in. How did you go from working for Wildlife Resources to wanting to become mayor of Ogden?
Pretty good question. Well, first of all, thanks for having me.
You bet.
Appreciate the opportunity to be here. It's good to reconnect too. And it does seem kind of random. How do you go from wildlife to mayor? What most people don't realize is just how complicated and controversial wildlife is. It is hugely political. There's all kinds of conflict around, and it's always centered around people, of course. And so you become pretty accustomed to conflict resolution, leading toward, maybe some level of consensus, but finding solutions that work for people, et cetera. And so having 23 years of that much controversy in my background, politics is really that. It's hard. It's controversial. It's where people and opinions collide a lot of the times. And so I actually feel like I'm really well tooled for that because of my background as a wildlife biologist to start with. So I don't think most people know that because it's such a unique and niche field to go into, but it's something that I wanted to do my entire life, was work in wildlife management, and never thought I'd be in politics. But I also grew up with a mom that was in politics, and so it didn't entirely come out of left field.
Yeah. Well, we don't like politicians in general, so you're lucky to be here.
I know.
We're not saying you're a traditional politician by traditional sense definition. That's why I think you're different.
Well, thanks.
Animal guy.
That. Right.
You like working outdoors?
Well, I'm a hooks and bullets boy.
Yeah.
Love to hunt and fish. Love to work with my hands. Actually, really struggling that my calluses are going away since I took the job.
Getting soft.
It's bothering me, man. I know.
I can fix that. Just jump into a CrossFit class and you'll get those calluses back.
I used to do that, and the kipping pull-ups and all of the hang cleans.
There's a ton of stuff going on there.
That'll shred your hands real fast.
It's hard work.
Ben, where are you from?
I grew up in Phoenix,
Arizona.
Moved here in 1997 to play football at Weber State.
Nice.
And met my wife there. Fell in love with Weber State. Fell in love with my wife.
Purple all the way,
fell in
huh?
love with Ogden. Absolutely bleed purple through and through. Which brought us together on the Wildcat Club board.
Yeah.
But I just fell in love with Utah and just haven't wanted to leave.
So you've kind of been involved in different posts and things along the way, from Wildcat Club to other community service roles.
Right.
And then Mayor Caldwell decides to resign, and you just knew right away you wanted to throw your hat in the ring?
No, I wouldn't say I knew right away. I had a lot of people pressuring me and pushing me and trying to convince me, and I resisted it for a long time. I was on the city council for 8 years before this, and it was a challenging spot to be in, frankly, challenging time, and was just kind of ready to be done. I had the career that I loved, lifetime career that I wanted. Didn't really anticipate changing course.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly had the best job ever, supervising operations in Northern Utah. So the office is just down the street from this office. So I was more than happy to step away from politics, but my wife and some close friends and family all recognized that they felt like there was a sense of purpose in me that was aligned with this role that I had honestly felt before as well. But we talk about being soft versus being hard. I would admit that I was soft at times to say, well, all the pressure and the stress and all the naysayers and kind of got to me a little bit.
I'll bet.
Right. And so I kind of had to reflect and say, can I make the impact that I'm after? Mm-hmm. Does this align with my why? Is this more aligned with my purpose than I'm giving it credit for because of what other people are saying? Am I giving it up? Right. I was making a decision to give people my power and my strength by allowing them to think that it wasn't for me. And that's why you have people close to you. And that's why it matters on the type of people that you surround yourself with. You surround yourself with soft people, they're going to let you do soft things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm surrounded by hard people of character and integrity, right? People of confidence that when they see me lacking it in a moment, they lean in and they confront me with it. And that's what happened. I had two really good friends practically took me by the shoulders and shook me and said, you are missing the point. This is not you, but the real you would dig in and go after it. And you'd put everything on the line and you wouldn't back out and have any regrets, but you would try with everything you have. And they were right. And so I still to this day, I thank them for doing that to me. Being those people that care about me and love me so much that they will literally shake me and say, snap out of it. You're being soft. Right?
You've actually put yourself in a position with public scrutiny, obviously, to an even higher extent.
Big time.
So is that hard to deal with? We have maybe on a daily basis, people, and especially in this day and age, social media, where everybody's critical and they hide behind their computer screen.
Right. Well,
they can be nasty.
You kind of touched on it. You're like, we don't like politicians here. And I know you're kind of joking, but you're kind of not, because there is a perception that all politicians are bad people. Mm-hmm. That every politician must be in it to enrich themselves and line their own pockets or for their own edification, right?
Yeah. 98% of politicians give the other 2% a bad name. I mean, that's well, I'm just kidding you, Ben.
No, but I
don't consider you a politician, but I know
I don't either, and I don't think most people do. I've worked I was in city council, and now I'm the mayor. In my prior role, I worked for the governor's office on public lands issues. I worked with county commissioners all over the state. I worked in legislative affairs for a while. I worked with congressional delegation in that role as well. And in my current role, I have interacted very closely with politicians across the spectrum, and 98% of them are excellent people. They're there for the right reasons, doing the right things. But everybody's opinion is based on the 2%, if that's the number, right? Yeah. I don't even know what the number is, but I've run upon those too. They're out there. I get it. Mm-hmm. But more often than not, by a wide margin, I have run into some really, really good people that are just trying to give. They're selfless servants that are trying to give of themselves to make impact in a place that they care on, things that they care about. That's what they believe.
That's refreshing to hear. That's good to hear.
And a bunch of your listeners will probably hear that and say, this guy's full of crap. He's a politician. Can't believe anything he says. Because that's the mindset. And if that's where we start, we're always going to have a hard time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. You have to stick to your guns. I think that's where a lot of politicians have failed, is they're shaken with the wind. In other words, the public sentiment can rattle them right off of what they believed in, or they have conviction on.
That's true.
And then rather than stay with it, they change their mind. I understand people can change because maybe they feel like, well, my position on that matter has evolved because now I see it differently. But I think what we don't like to see is people that can quickly go from one to a 180 just because they're looking to get reelected. So that's where I think some politicians, and I've always been a big advocate for term limits, for example, on congressmen and women. And sometimes I feel like people are just in there for life. And I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. What is your position nationally? Like, you see all this going on, a lot of division going on, and I think most people have a bit of concern about why are we so divided, and how do you answer questions when that comes up to you? Is there any better way to approach this?
Oh, there's got to be a better way. Could it get any worse?
It's pretty bad.
So you asked, what's your position nationally? My position is I'm a big deal nationally. Totally kidding. I'm not a big deal nationally, so I don't have to take a huge national position. I'm clearly mindful of what's happening at the national level. I see it on the news as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
I don't have an inside track on any of it. Really, what I'm focused on is what is the impact locally. I mean, just before I came here, I did an interview. What's the impact of the DOJ recommendations for layoffs with IRS, given how many federal jobs we have? And it's like, I don't know, because I don't know any more than what you see on TV, right? But what I'm focused on is solutions. And I think at the top, and this isn't assigning to one party or the other, it's everybody. They're focused on talking points. They're focused on the party position and making sure that they win in the media and that they win votes, and that they're already focused on the midterms, right?
Yeah.
I'm not focused on that at all. I'm focused on kicking butt.
Doing what you can do.
You can cuss on this podcast if you want to.
Absolutely.
You don't have to.
Okay. It took me a little while to figure out what the replacement was for that, but
say it.
I'm a salty guy, so it might happen. But like, I don't have time. There is no other level of government to handle it. The buck stops with us at the local level, and that's part of why local positions are nonpartisan. I'm not afraid to admit I'm conservative, but that's not my filter. My filter is what's right for people. I definitely believe that conservative values are good for people, good for our future, good for our country. But I also believe that I have to be a critical thinker. I'm not going to take the party's position and just run with it because that's what they tell me to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to think critically about it because I am accountable to people directly. They are in my city. They are my neighbors. They go to our schools. You know what I mean?
We love that term, critical thinking. We love it.
Yeah.
Because people have lost their ability to think. I mean, they're absolute robots to what the TV or the news media tells them to think.
Or to what they feel. And so I don't have the opportunity to do that either. I have to, and I told this to Cindy yesterday, I think it was yesterday, is I have to have a stronger head than a stronger heart. And I've got a damn strong heart, right? Your heart has to be in the right place. But if you lead with only your heart, right? I'm not saying that we can lead in this heartless, unfeeling way, but you have to have room for logic. You've got to have a strong head and a strong mindset because the critics are coming, right? They're always going to come. And right now the Democrats are really loud, and they picket and they protest and whatever.
Yeah.
And if I just fell to that, what about all the other people that are at home needing their government to work for them, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not here to provide solutions for everybody, for everything. That's their job. Yeah. I'm here to create an environment and create opportunities for them to invest in themselves and connect with to make them better, right?
Yeah.
So it's a constant challenge. But if you're being weak mentally, like I was when my friends shook me, right? I'm not going to make the right choice. And I'm glad they did that. And I think I reflect on it a lot because I have to remember to stay strong and not cower.
Were you
to the
afraid of
critics.
what others would think of you?
Of course, because I'm human, right? Anybody that says they don't, they're lying. Or we're all human. We feel things. It happens, right? But you got to have enough strength of character and sense of self to do what you know is right. That's the point.
What do you do when you get to that place? And we all have that moment or those moments when we feel like the world's against us, or we have so many critics that are coming at us for one thing or another. What do you do in that environment now?
First thing that I don't do is social media.
Okay.
Yeah. I have to have staff that help me understand what the dynamics are because it's so toxic. I mean, it's so toxic that I try not to get deep into that so that I can focus on what I do, which is I like to pray. I like to meditate. I like to exercise and lift. I like to spend time in the mountains. I like to hunt and fish. You know what I mean? I like to get together with buddies that have nothing to do with my work. I like to spend time with my kids. I like to watch them play ball in their ball games. That's where I'm going next. Watch my daughter play basketball. That you don't think about any of this stuff when you're watching that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's It's hard, but it's not hard because you got to be hard.
It's what you choose to focus on, right? It's what you choose to.
Everything starts with your mindset, right? Mm-hmm. It's not hard as long as you're hard.
Yeah. Explain that a little bit more for our listeners.
So if you, we are only as good as our belief and in our mind. If we think that we are everything that you read about online, if that's what I think of myself, then of course I'm going to believe what they say about me. If I have a stronger sense of self and more confidence in who I am as a man, in my own character and my own integrity, kind of husband that I am and the kind of father that I am, those are the two most important things, right? Do I love my wife as the first order of business for the things that I'm supposed to do for my kids, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm a good man. Fallible, for sure. Perfect? Of course not. But I know who I am, and I know who I'm not, and the things that they say is not who I am. And if you don't have that here, it's going to hurt here, right? Yeah. So that strength and balance between your mindset and your heart is really important.
It's also good, like you said before, having people around you that can tell when you're off or you're not being yourself to kind of say, hey, we know who you are. We know what you're supposed to be doing. So surrounding yourself with those type of people. That's right. Super important.
So I'm looking off camera at my chief of staff, Cindy Wheeloff.
Wish we could pan the camera right now because he's got his right hand over here.
Well, I keep turning to her, and there's others too. Mayor Brown, my chief administrative officer. These are people that I'm with all the time that I count on.
Right.
Yeah. Permanently. That they're there for me to help me succeed because if I succeed, Ogden succeeds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Cindy tells me a lot. She knows she can feel when my energy is good and when it's not.
I think for me and a lot of people that I surround myself with like to see the human side of people, right? And especially leaders. And right now, I think that's what people, they want to hear. They want to know where your heart is. They want to know what makes you who you are, what drives you. And we can have all the social media. We can have all the hate speech. We can have all the people tearing each other apart all the way up to the top. And we see that right now. So many people with Trump derangement syndrome. We have this new disease out there, but they don't even think about what they're saying. They just say it because there's so much animosity and hatred spilling out. But maybe we just see like what motivates you. I always try to ask myself, even if I disagree with someone, what made them who they are? Where did they come from? How did they learn those things? Why do they believe those things? Like go back to the childhood, go back to how they were raised, and try to understand more the human element.
Wow. No one ever asked me this. I mean, look, I thought I came here to talk about finance and personal wealth or community and economic development or something.
I'm more interested in what makes people take.
I just showed up because you asked. but I love that you're asking me this because no one ever asked me. Because, like things are hard right now for me because my dad's struggling. We're getting close, and Dad and I are close. So it's really on my mind. It's on my shoulders every day, all the time. No one knows that because no one asks, because no one cares.
Right.
They just care about getting everything they can out of me while I'm here. And you see it from past mayors. They struggle because they get to a point where they just can't give anymore. They've given everything, and everybody's taken it all. They just take it and take it and take it. And people think that because we're a public official, and I'm not trying to be the victim here. I'm just saying that people just think that they can abuse you almost. It's like, well, this is your job. You work for me or whatever. It's like, I'm still a freaking person. Yeah. I'm still a human. Don't, treat me like a human. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Like I'm hard enough to rise above it. I get it. But just because someone's in a certain position doesn't mean that it's okay to just abuse the hell out of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't tolerate being bullied, and people hear it pretty quick from me. I can be pretty salty, raised Catholic, right?
Yeah.
I know how to freaking defend myself. Youngest of 5.
Yeah.
A mom, this was the oldest of 12. We've got a huge family, blue collar. We got grit. We are hard people. We are not, like the fact that I'm the mayor for my entire extended family blows their mind that they have a mayor in the family. It's not how we view ourselves, right?
Yeah.
They love it. They're so supportive. So in awe of our family. And because we were so close. My mom's the oldest of 12, right? and I'm the youngest of 5. We have an enormous family, hundreds of cousins.
I bet.
Yeah.
And we are close.
Awesome.
That's the kind of family I was raised in. And I was raised the old school way. I tell Cindy all the time, my dad poured beer on our blood. When we bled, we didn't get Band-Aids, we got beer. Not to drink.
To stop it,
Poured
Rub
beer
some
on
dirt
it.
in
Yep.
it.
And if we kept crying, he's like, what more do you want from me? I poured beer on your blood, son.
Yeah.
The rest is on you.
Yeah.
And it's true. And it's an empowering way to say, harden up, son.
Yeah.
Take a breath. No, it's your response.
You learn real quick to take care. You're not going to be looking for somebody else's helping hand. I always said, you need a helping hand, use the one on your end of your other damn arm.
Right.
That's what it's there for. But I was raised similarly, and I know Sean, we grew up on farms and out of work, and you told to get out of bed in the morning, and you're going to work. So you weren't sleeping in, you weren't messing around. I feel like maybe that's gotten away from us in this society, like culturally.
Hard work.
Hard work is not so common anymore.
I know. Grit.
Kids are soft.
Man, you guys are like go to all my spots right now. But, so let's just back up for a second. That's why it's hard for me to go through what I am with my dad, because how thankful am I that I was raised to be a man of that kind, by a man that knows what suffering is, that knows how to overcome it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of father I have, and that's what makes me who I am. I remember calling him in college. I was like, Dad, I don't have any money. I got nothing. And he's like,
go get a job.
Yeah, he said it's good for everybody to be broke.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
That's
true.
awesome.
And I
True.
said,
Dig yourself out of a hole.
Yeah.
Dad, I'm hungry. I don't have food. He's like, it's good for someone to be hungry. You'll figure it out. Dad, I'm homeless. I don't have a place to stay. I'm staying on friends' couches. Everybody should live that way for a little while. You'll figure it out, son.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Versus here, let me pay for your groceries. Let me pay your rent or something like that. And then it's always like you're going to be raised to feel like someone's going to be there for me. I don't need to figure this out. And that kind of the way, coddling, a little bit.
I see it quite often with clients here. We talk internally because it's hard for us to tell clients how to raise their children. But we see the success stories of kids who become financially independent on their own versus the ones who never do or go through their money. We were just talking about that before you came in, is people that blow through their money quickly because they didn't really have to earn it. They didn't have to sacrifice for it. They don't understand what it takes to make it and to build it. They received it from their parents or from their grandparents, and pretty quick that money is gone, and then they don't know what to do. But the ones who, the true success stories, and I love success stories, are the ones who came out of nothing and they didn't have anything handed to them and they fought for it and they figured out a way to earn it. So I love the stories of people that just rose from basically humble beginnings. And I mean, I'm looking at you and you have the same character buildup, is people that figured it out and didn't just stop. They said, hey, I have my sights on something out there and I'm not going to quit.
Yep. That's exactly how I was raised. It's who my parents were. They had to make it work. And we had really hard years where all the kids, I was the youngest of the 5. So I remember it being really early in my life when we were really struggling the most, but all the other kids had paper routes to participate in, helping to fill the bait, to pay the bills. And I went with my parents on their paper route. I went with them to clean offices and clean houses, where anywhere that they could make money, they did it. And I went with them and I helped them. That's not the assumed youth that I have. When I ran for office, everyone's like, oh, he was the man of privilege, that he has a mom that was in politics in Phoenix. That's a huge move to be at that point. She almost was mayor. She lost by a really small margin to be the mayor of Phoenix. That's an enormous city. Yeah. So to rise to that level from, stay-at-home mom, as they called her, to raise 5 kids, to organize in the neighborhood level and at the community level, and then to be elevated and to have that kind of power in a city of that size was a big deal. And I watched that climb my whole life. I watched her do that. I watched my dad support her in doing that. And my dad was a man of grit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coors and yellow can dad. So that's a mindset. And my uncles are hardworking, blue collar, roll up their sleeves, pick and shovel men, built companies, raised kids. You know what I mean? And those kids, those cousins are super close with me. And that's just how we were raised. And so I want to raise my kids to be hard now. I call it resilience now. I call it mental toughness. To just know how to work and to invest in self and to rely on self, right? And on each other as a family.
Good background and into your life and to where you're at and how you got to where you're at. Let's talk a little bit about your day-to-day now. Like, you're the mayor. I mean, this has got to be a big change for you going from what you did before. So tell us what your typical day-to-day looks like, and then maybe transition into what are some of the big things on your radar right now.
Okay. I'd say my day-to-day is bell to bell. I don't like to have a lot of break. I like to just hammer hard. So there's, once the first appointment starts, there's really no time in between, and that continues through the day.
So basically, you're like Donald Trump. You're just go, hard all day long.
Without the executive time.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many executive orders did you order in your first 10 days in office?
Actually, we don't have that as a mechanism, but I wish I did.
That's good.
So you get up early and you just have appointments all day long.
Oh, okay. Well, that's my work life, but I always start by getting my mind right first. I have a morning routine that, for me, it's important that I have some spiritual time, some time to reflect, time to myself, hopefully time at the gym. Yeah. And then I like to finish my time at the gym with some time with my creator. And then I like to come to the work. That's the best way for me to arrive at the office with the right energy, the right mindset, to kick butt, kick ass every day. Right. And so when I do arrive, I find that if I park my truck in the parking lot, when I walk into the building, I see employees. They must be able to sense my energy, because by the time I get to the 9th floor of the building and Cindy senses my energy when it's down, she's like, "What's up? What can I do to help you get your energy where it needs to be?" And then my phone starts to buzz. People are already talking about my energy. And so the energy around the building apparently relies on my energy. So I can't afford to show up in a bad place here. Right?
I'm laughing because we know when Billy walks in the office, we're having a good day or bad day. He's the energy guy in the office.
Right?
Yeah, it's true. And everybody feeds off that.
Energy travels. Energy is a real thing.
100%. So you must be the leader of the office, right? You must be the owner, the in charge. That's why they call you Big Man Billy.
That's right.
Big Man. I'm going to start using that.
Everybody knows it.
Big Man Billy or Badass Billy or something like that.
That's really, that's it.
There you go. Go with that one.
Easy.
Yeah.
And calls a lot of things.
Yeah, me too. But energy matters. And if I show up in the wrong place, others are going to struggle around me, right? And I notice it of my team. When I'm not in a good place, they struggle because they're like, "What can we do to help you?" They don't struggle because they're soft. They struggle because they're like, it's our job to help him be in a better place so that we as a city could be in a better place. Oh, lucky am I to have that around me.
Yeah.
And it speaks to the kind of people you need to surround yourself with. If you're surrounding yourself with energy vampires that are just sucking your energy and feeding on it and taking it selfishly for themselves at your cost and your expense, surround yourself with better people, right?
It could be a big drain.
Huge drain.
Big drain.
Huge drain.
Man.
What about locally? I mean, what are Billy kind of asked earlier, but like, what are some of the biggest things you want to tackle or you're focused on right now?
So we could talk about this in terms of projects and priorities and so on.
Like this wonder, is it called Wonder Block?
My entire first year was defined by a bunch of unfinished projects that I inherited. And I had to establish my own leadership team, establish my relationship with my team, establish a bunch of operating and management norms, etc. And I pushed really hard on collaboration across departments and divisions, because that's partly why the projects weren't being finished. It's because we didn't bring all of the disciplines to the table to bring the wonder block out of the ground. Excuse me. So now that you see that coming out of the ground, it's a result of leadership in the background, bringing everybody to the table, having a sense in the spirit of collaboration, right? Across legal, fiscal, public works, economic development, etc. Everybody has to participate. Even police does. Even fire does for fire code. Police is involved with the parking portion because they enforce parking. Every department has to be at the table. And so for the first year, we had to really reestablish priorities around internal collaboration. How are we going to be a collaborative government if we can't collaborate with each other? Right?
Yeah.
So that's really where we wrapped ourselves around that axle to start with. Then we were able to get projects like Wonder Block coming out of the ground that hadn't been able to come out of the ground before. But it was others. There was dozens of them like that. Not as big as that, but dozens of projects that needed the same level of scrutiny and collaboration internally to move toward starting and completion. We'll have the Marshall White Center, was a huge lift for a lot of people in our city. That'll open the first week of May. That's going to be a great move.
Congrats.
Thanks. But people don't recognize the work that goes into it by all of the public employees. Right now, recognizing that the federal government's an enormous challenge compared to what I have, right? But there's a lot of perceptions around public employees right now that are not true in my case.
Mm-hmm.
I see really hardworking people, almost universal, that they care deeply and they're giving it everything they have because they come to Ogden because they love this town and this city and they want to help it thrive. Challenges that they have are not only of their own making. It's not just their fault. There's systemic issues and bureaucratic and political challenges and leadership vacuums, et cetera. Right?
Yeah.
Those are the kinds of things that keep them from performing. But almost every single time, it's not them, not who they are, that's keeping them from doing what needs to be done. It's something else. And so the first year has been a real challenge and a struggle. And it's been packed with pressure that built up over time. But pressure is a privilege. And if that's your mindset, you'll get through it. But you got to have that mindset amongst your team too. See that stress you're feeling, that anxiety, lean into it because you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
The blessing that you get to feel this way, because it means you're making a good living. It means you're a person of importance, that you're a person of capability. You're in a position that other people are not in, that you get to be in to make impact. You know what I mean?
And you care.
That you care deeply. Like, count all of the blessings that brought you to this point. And then you'll think about that pressure differently. Right?
It's quite amazing to kick back here, just consider what goes on behind the scenes. Most people have no idea.
No one's ever asked me.
I mean, what's going on? Like, wow, get this project up and running. What the hell's taking you so long? Let's get this thing done. You probably have, I don't know, countless numbers of meetings on a daily basis from people, different departments, to try to just get approvals for certain things. And then now we're really focusing in on budgets and making sure that we're not overspending. And no one wants to fall into that Doge microscope. So that's an interesting conversation in itself. We don't even need to get into that one, but balancing it, and having a little bit of fiscal discipline, business leadership, all that stuff is important in what you do.
That's correct. So if I just showed up not knowing what I'm doing, I'm not going to be very effective. I'm the CEO of the city. We're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Yeah. In terms of not just our budget, but our assets. We've got roads and water lines and a state-of-the-art water treatment plant. And I mean, those are enormous assets that need to be managed, right? A big police department, a big fire department, all of their apparatus, et cetera. It's a big role. And so you have to have pretty big experiences leading up to it if you want to be successful, in my view. So who you elect does matter. But I'm not afraid to talk about budgets. I'm not afraid to talk about Doge, because I think that we need to be scrutinizing our budget at the local level. And, I had a State of the City event, and I had unveiled a framework that I call the Ogden Way, right? You've probably heard the term the Utah Way, right? You guys both grew up in Utah?
Yes, sir.
So I didn't grow up in Utah, which made it even more poignant when I did experience the Utah Way. All of the cultural collaboration that came really from our pioneers and forefathers, and that came across the country in persecution, relying on each other. They had to build a sense of community in order to make it work. That is built and woven into our bones as a state. And it is an absolute difference maker. I had never felt that until I moved here, and I noticed it, right? And if you're born and raised here, you might not know that, or you might not feel it the same way I did, but it was like a punch in the face when I got here. I was like, whoa, this is different. Right?
Yeah.
And Ogden needs that too. And so we've got a framework that I call the Ogden Way. And it's more than a slogan. It's an ethos, and it's a spirit that lives within us. It's something that drives us every single day. And it's rooted in that investment in ourselves, right? We talk about it really specifically. We're not going to solve everybody's problem as government. It's our job to make sure that we're not a problem for people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But your success is yours. You own it. It's accountability for you, right? And I've got to take that same accountability as the mayor and for the city, as a city, and how I and we as a city affect you. That's my mindset. So the Ogden Way also talks about how we can be more than a city. We can be a community. When we invest in ourselves, we get in and to earn success by engaging in opportunities, right? And lifting ourselves. Any healthy community ought to be mindful of those around them. So we as individuals need to be looking left and right and lifting the people that are around us as we lift ourselves. But we're not going to lift them for them. They've got to do the work themselves, but they've got to be around people like us that do that work for ourselves and see it in others, right? And so that's the essence and the fundamental of the Ogden Way. If we work in that way, then we can start to look at ourselves as a city and say, what is our role as a city? You can frame the same question. What's your role as government, et cetera, right? Republican, Democrat, whatever. I think our role is to serve our people, to serve our city of people, right? So we make sure that we develop a framework and a mission for our employees. We have almost 700 employees at that city at any time. And their day-to-day mission ought to be driven, must be driven in the direction that delivers for people and helps them achieve their vision for themselves and for each other. And so we need to also have a vision for our city that's rooted in creating opportunity and creating an environment for people to succeed in, and a mission of our employees that dovetail, right? So this is a large part of what I'm working on right now, is setting up our city to succeed in some of these really fundamental and basic ways. We've never had a mission statement. We don't have a vision statement. We do now. Go to theogdenway.com and you'll find it. But beyond that, what is the vision rooted in? It's rooted in people. Well, what do people need? And if you look at what people need in order to succeed in life, there's certain fundamental principles, what I call pillars of human success, right? So safety. Got to have a safe environment to live in. If you're constantly worried around getting hurt or getting robbed, you're never going to thrive. You're just going to try and survive, right? So we need to have a strong police and fire department. That's our responsibility as a city. Fundamental service. Infrastructure, got to have water to drink, right? Got to have put your trash in the curb, it takes it out. Mm-hmm. Things like that, those sort of services. Got to have access to an economy that works for you, regardless of where you are economically. You could be thriving and making a ton of money, but you still need to have access to opportunities, or you could just be trying to survive. You need to have access to opportunities and resources to get by. Stable neighborhoods, got to have a place to live. Hopefully it's connected to parks, open space, schools, places of worship. What about having an active and healthy lifestyle? Mm-hmm. Now, if you really want to thrive, you got to be healthy. We talked about going to the gym, right?
No, we've got a great recreational area here in Utah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big draw.
Very unique.
Right?
Yeah.
And then what about our connection with each other? You're asking me questions to get to know me better. Meaningful social connections with each other is a fundamental part of living and thriving in life. And so if you look at each of the fundamental pillars for human success, those are the areas that we as a city need to focus. Do we need to be the ones delivering on all of those things? No, we don't. And that's where I think government often gets bloated, is that we get this mindset in government thinking that we have to do all of those things because we're government. And then it becomes about control and, right? Well, government needs resources to do that. So then we ask for more tax money. That's actually taking money out of people's pockets. So I'm really focused on the delivery of services that we ought to be delivering, and who else in the community can deliver other services in coordination and in alignment with where we're trying to go as a city.
And that's important. I mean, that's got to be a challenge, just to know the government's role, how big the government should be, how where to back off and where to kind of avoid maybe a certain area that you don't need to tackle or control, is the word you used. So that's an interesting one, because I can see both of those dilemmas. People want to feel like they're served by the government and they're protected and they're taken care of, and they don't want to feel like they're controlled. And one thing we all learned in COVID is that where the control thing got out of hand, I'm going to say it. It was absolute overkill. So that's one thing that scares a lot of people, and I think turned a lot of people away from government and big government. It wasn't what they thought, wasn't what they hoped. So elections matter.
Yes, they do.
And we started to figure that out. But I think what's on everyone's mind here, Ben, is what are you going to do about the price of eggs? I mean, this is out of control.
I already voted for backyard chickens when I was a council member, so I feel like I've done my part.
We've got chickens, but yeah, it's like you can become a drug dealer now if you have chickens and eggs. So it's pretty valuable stuff.
I mean, I think you're kind of joking, but you're also asking the question, like, what are you going to do to help people in the cost of living?
Yeah, it's inflation, cost of living, just a question along those lines.
And that's the challenge with being a local leader is the macroeconomics that are impacting everybody's lives are so far out of my control. It's unbelievable. And so I have to be focused on how do we deal with it, right? Just today, I mean, every day right now, I've got people's jobs are at risk that are working for the federal government. We have a lot of jobs here.
Yeah.
And they're at risk. Those are people that live in our community, in our neighborhoods, kids in our schools. That's a concern. I have no control over what happens. All I have control over is how we respond.
Yeah.
Again, getting back to mindset. If I don't have time to just sit around and be mad. I have to work on solutions, right?
I like the way you put it, though. You said, I can lay out all these pillars and do my best job to make sure these pillars are in place. But ultimately, it's on you if you want to make these pillars work for you, is kind of what I understood. The government's not here to do it for you. You're providing these different areas. And now, okay, here you go. Did the best job I could. Now it's on you. But you've got to be accountable, too, as a citizen.
Correct. We all have a role to play here. Yeah. That's what makes us a community.
Sometimes I feel like that line gets blurred or skewed, and everyone thinks, well, I'm just supposed to be helped along my whole way, and you've got to step up and do it yourself sometimes.
And I'll just say that I think there are people in every society and community that need our help.
Of course.
And I think we have an obligation to help.
Yeah.
Everybody does. Not just me and not just you. Everybody has some obligation to help fellow man who needs it. Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of people that don't help themselves because they think that others are going to help them or that the government's going to solve all their problems. Like I can't stand it when everyone's like, they blame me for everything. And it sucks because it's me that they're blaming, so it's personal. But it's also frustrating because I'm like, you're never going to solve it if you just sit around and blame me. Like, what about you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What have you done? What have you done to help the situation?
Right.
It's a handout. It's frustrating when you're at that kind of position where you're taking the arrows. I don't know to the extent that you're dealing with now, because I'm sure it's absolute chaos at certain points. But know this: there are a lot of people who do care. I know that doesn't come across as much. That you might not hear the good comments as much as the bad, because
the thank yous.
that's in everybody's the character. It's human nature is people that want to say something good are less likely to do so. People who want to say something bad, they're emotional and they're going to get angry, and then maybe a minute later they didn't mean it. But I will say this: I'm grateful for people like you who have character, who have that foundation, that upbringing, who aren't afraid of work, and who are doing the right thing for the right reason. And we need more leaders like that. So
appreciate that.
I'm thankful that you took the position and what you're doing. So, next stop, President. What do you have?
Hey,
Senate.
Honestly, I don't think about my next job much. I'll figure that out when I get to it. I'm not a career politician. I don't have to be in politics next. If that's where it takes me, maybe. Fine, right? But I've been a public servant my whole life, and I don't know what the next step is, if there is one. Right now, I just hope I get to keep doing it. I love the work. Getting back to the beginning of the interview when my friends shook me, I'm so thankful that they did, because I've never, ever felt more fulfilled in the work that I do than I do right now.
Awesome.
I've had more fun, but there's fulfillment and fun are totally different. And you asked earlier about what drives me. That's it. It's fulfillment. I seek fulfillment. I get fulfilled through impact. So when we finally make an impact and a difference, that fulfills me. When I see me making an impact with my positive energy on others, that gives me fulfillment. It gives me better energy. It goes back and it cycles more, right? I call that the servant cycle. When I serve others and I help them and they succeed, it makes me feel good. They, in turn, want to serve me, their fellow mankind, right? And then I turn around and just want to double down again. And as we continue to double down for each other, I call that the servant cycle. That's the kind of energy that catalyzes impact.
Yeah.
Right? If you live your life in pursuit of fun, it's a fun life. I've done it. I jumped out of helicopters, wrestled elk for a living. I loved it. It was fun. I spent a ton of time in the mountains and in the rivers, a lot of hunting and fishing, etc. Fixed-wing aircraft, doing aerial surveys, yada, yada. Tons of fun. But it was the fulfillment from impact that I got that really drove me. And so I don't get to do that fun stuff anymore. Now I sit in public meetings. That's
just sad.
But you're fulfilled.
But I'm
right?
way more fulfilled because I feel like I'm making impact. And that's the kind of mindset, again, that everybody should have if you live your life seeking fulfillment. Right?
Well, giving to others. I mean, they say that
Yes.
when you give to others, you're going to fill yourself up, fill your own cup.
That's
Sean and I tried this for years. We were giving back. We were running a baseball tournament here in northern Utah, and we did I don't know how many years. We probably did it for 7 or 8 years, but this was after my brother passed away. So it's a sobering reason why it started. He took his own life, and I wanted to have a reason to memorialize him and give these young kids something to look forward to, something to be involved in, active. So baseball tournament was a big deal. We thought, well, I know how to do this because I'm big into baseball. So we did tournament for years. We had maybe 60 to 80 teams in this tournament. We'd have to get fields from all over the Wasatch Front, from all the way from Colville and South Summit all the way down here to the Box Elder County. And we found what giving back really was when you try to hook up and secure umpires for all these games and then get the field secured. And then you go and you put on this best tournament you can, and it's all for charity and it's all give back. And you're not taking any money for it. And you charge the teams, but you're giving it all back to the greater good. And parents would just come up, and no one said, very few would say anything. Great tournament, we'd have a few of those, but way more would say, you guys don't know what the hell you're doing. This was the worst tournament. I mean, you guys excluded my son's team because he didn't have enough players.
Yeah.
Umpires would show up drunk. They would be laying out by the river, not able to ump the games. One guy showed up with his cooler, like we're thinking he's got his Gatorades for the game. He goes, "Look, guys, I'm showing you." He opens up his cooler. And he's got a gun. He's got a pistol in his cooler on the field. I said, "What are you going to do with that?" Any parents get out of hand. I got it. Take
that bad.
Take care.
Like,
Such a
okay,
sad reflection.
I'm gonna ump this
Sorry,
game. We don't need you
got you anymore. No,
it's a thankless job.
Big.
Yeah,
it's
but
big.
I will get people every once in a while like, "Hey, why don't you guys do that tournament anymore? That was the best." And then you're like, people did enjoy
Makes you
it.
feel good. You find those moments.
Yeah,
We did all as long as we could do it. But
okay, can I just say something? This is if anybody takes anything away from this interview about me, don't think about me. Think about this. I used to coach a lot. I've umpired in college. There's a lot of kids in town that still call me coach, and I love that. I think that's a way more important title than mayor, right?
mm-hmm.
But I understand you didn't take in any money, but you took a ton of arrows. But you just mentioned there's a lot of positive people that are like, "Well, you're not turning me more." This is the dynamic that frustrates me the most as mayor, is people are not inspired by positivity to speak and to share. They're only inspired by anger and rage. You only go to the keyboard, to social media when you're pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to write a letter to the editor when you're happy. It does happen occasionally, but it's, in my experience as a mayor, we talked about how good our staff are. It doesn't mean that everybody's perfect, right? But I see people working their guts out to make things work for people. we've got to make it easier for them to succeed so that we can help more people succeed, right? One of the things that I've dug into is everybody talks about our reputation as a city, that we're hard to do business with, okay? So we did a really deep dive into all of the services for permitting and business licensing and building inspection, et cetera. And we tore it apart, broke it down. And we found that there was, it might be around 2 or 3% of challenging cases. And I'm telling you, they are processing permits and applications and requests all day, every day, hammering through them. And they are knocking 98% of them out of the park. 2% of them are really hard. Most of the time it's around the aging infrastructure of our city or the built out environment that we already have, the historical nature of our downtown. Mm-hmm. It's hard to do development in a downtown. It's redevelopment. Historical redevelopment, way harder, right? But also way better, way more fulfilling. The outcomes are 10 times better than brand new. But what people hang on us is our reputation is based on the 2% that constantly complain, right? And by the time they complain, that complaint's out there, it's over. We go back and we fix it in the background. Oftentimes it takes time. Fundamental fixes in policy or something, that's hard work. It takes a little while. Well, they've already complained and they've already set their opinion and they've told all of their friends.
Yeah.
Right. And in that time, we've processed a couple hundred more positively. Everybody goes about their day, goes about their business. And then we have another blip. That person's writing about it and we're fixing it. What ends up happening is now we are completely framed around a narrative that's not accurate or true. Maybe it was in that instance. I get it. And we've done everything we can to rectify it, right? But you can't pull back the narrative. And we can't get people to be inspired enough to share the positive examples. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times can we all succeed and no one talks about that? We've got to be sharing the examples of when we do succeed with and for each other, or else all of the opportunity and the advancements and our future of economic development, et cetera, is always going to be held back by a narrative that's not true. And it's driven by other people that don't have a mindset of abundance. It's really frustrating to see a city held back by it, right? So until people who do have those positive experiences speak up and share it,
right?
Share with grace and gratuity, right? This will always be our cross to bear.
It won't change.
You don't have enough people with the courage to do that on the positive side. And it gets tribal. People will flock to what they think to be the dominant force or the dominant way of viewing things, the point of view. And Facebook can be so brutal. And I sometimes wish Facebook was never invented because
me too.
For what good it provides, there are a lot of bad. Destroy people, just destroy people's spirits and motivation. And that's honestly why I brought that up. Is Sean and I had a good thing there. We were ringing for the community and the boys, and they still talk. But the boys that went through that always talk about it when we see them. That hey, that was such a good run. You guys did that for 7 years in the home run derby. And why don't you keep doing that? And you don't understand. You can keep stabbing, you keep cutting, and finally you just lose their spirit and the drive.
Bleed to death. Yeah. That's why you were struggling to find good umpires, because the good men and women who are good umpires, they're in it for the right reason, have been absolutely abused, and they're like, why am I doing this for $35?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I got other things I got to do for my family.
Yeah. Wait, 35? Give me their number.
I know.
I think we were paying 50.
But there's a lot of parents that would rip them apart. Oh, we'd hear it. We'd have to actually, ask people to leave.
Yeah.
Guys, it's a ball and a strike. Get off his back. I mean,
the kid's 12. Like, come on.
12 years old. He's not going to the majors. I know you think he is, but he's,
That's, getting back to how I was raised, my dad was stoic on the sideline and in the bleachers. Stoic. There were parents just freaking out. Dads losing their mind, getting in fights with umpires. Not my dad.
Just watching the game.
It's your fault you didn't swing.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing worse than a backwards K in the scorebook with my dad. Right? It means you didn't even try to succeed. Mm-hmm. Drove him nuts.
Go down swinging, bro.
But he didn't say a word during the game. He thanked the umpires. He was also a coach. He was also a league manager. He's been there before. To this day, every time there's a game, if I have a chance, I will thank the umpires and thank the coaches.
Yeah.
And you won't hear me yelling at the coaches or criticizing their decisions or yelling at the umps or refs, because I know where it leads us, and I'm not going to contribute to it. And we need more people that are not that we're just glossing over problems and we're not saying anything because we got no backbone, but holy crap, can we have some damn kindness? Can we have some grace for each other in this world?
Yeah.
It's not hard.
I mean,
all you Petersens out there listening, I want you to rewind that, listen to that part again.
Like my parents raised me to believe in the goodness of people, that people are inherently good, not evil. But we are too often assuming that each other are evil before they're good.
That's true.
No, that's true.
One question before we wrap it up. What sport did you play at Weber?
Football.
Yep.
What
Position?
Defensive end, tight end?
Defensive end.
Defensive end.
Sweet.
I used to be a little more substantial back then.
Substantial.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was
I'm still substantial.
I am not. I'm like a hindrance in an alley fight right now. Back then I wasn't.
Nice.
Still go to all the football games?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well,
always pulling for the Wildcats, man.
Absolutely. We love the local community here, and I'd love to see an expansion of a baseball team. I mean, maybe we'll get something someday. We've got the hockey going now, and you got the Olympics coming up. That's something to be talking about.
Huge
deal for you.
Huge deal. And if we needed to start that yesterday. Everything that we're working on today needed to be done yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And we're starting about that 10 years, now 9. It's not much time.
Comes fast.
When you think about all of the things that we need to do to be ready for that. Massive infrastructure improvements, transportation corridors, venues upgraded, social infrastructure, planning for events, making sure that our downtown, and all of those things are big, big moves.
Give us a badge. We'll volunteer, whatever you need.
All right.
Okay? We're in.
I need you guys stroking checks. Paying for infrastructure. And
yeah,
stuff.
dang, he's always wanting money.
Said volunteer.
You take cash or
Oh no,
we've got cash.
Yeah, that came across wrong.
Oh, Ben, it was great to have you here today. Cindy, you're doing a great job. I know you're not on the screen, but you're the big force behind him.
She manages me. So.
Good.
Appreciate you being here today, Ben, and good luck in the future with Utah. We're expecting big things. So thanks for joining us today for Harnessing Your Wealth, and we'll catch you next time out there.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. For more information about today's show, please check out the show notes. Visit our website at www.petersenws.com or give us a call at 801-475-4002. Petersen Wealth Services is a registered investment advisor. This is a paid-for advertisement. Information presented on this program is believed to be factual and up-to-date, but we do not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. Discussions and answers to questions do not involve the rendering of a personalized investment advice, but are limited to the dissemination of general information. A professional advisor should be consulted before implementing any of the options presented. Petersen Wealth Services.